We are recording. Stop texting your boyfriend. How's he doing, by the way? How is Michael?
Yeah, he's doing great. Yeah, thanks.
Good, I'm glad. So, for an intro, and as that famous theme music fades away with a bah, we welcome you to another episode of the Mailbox Rogues Gallery. My name's Sean.
My name's James.
There you are. I thought we called you Birch. A peek behind the curtain.
Fatal flaw.
Yeah, he has a real name. He's not a birch tree. He's a real person with a real name.
Yeah.
Right. Well, what's the subject that we're going to discuss? Who are we going to discuss this week? Who are we going to put in our metaphorical mailbox?
Well, today we are going to be looking at none other than Queen Elizabeth II.
QE2.
Yeah, that's right.
As I like to call her. Yeah. Would you say that she kind of comes under our purview? Is she a rogue? First off the bat.
Without a doubt, Sean.
Just have to look into those eyes and you can tell, can't you?
Oh yeah, she's seen stuff. Yeah, she's seen some things.
Absolutely. I'm sure she has.
One thing I would say, I mean, we know Queen Elizabeth II. Are you familiar with the prequel?
Oh, Queen Elizabeth I.
Yeah.
Oh, was it one, or did they not put the one? I suppose they didn't know there was going to be a sequel, did they?
I guess not. No.
Yeah, I'm mildly familiar.
Yeah, I'm not, and I worry that I'm missing out on the overarching narrative if I've not seen the first one.
You've seen, what is it, Blackadder 2?
Oh yeah,
there you go, Queenie. That's Queen Elizabeth, isn't it?
No.
Yeah. Look, we're allowed to not know this because this isn't our subject. Our subject is not QE; it's QE2.
That's true. Yeah.
Queen Elizabeth II. Do you want to actually know what her name is, her title? Because I mean, she's not actually, her official title is not Elizabeth Windsor.
No.
I'll give you this. It's Elizabeth II, by the grace of God, of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland, and of her other realms and territories, Queen, head of the Commonwealth, defender of the faith.
Now, when you're in school and you have to write your name down in your school book.
Yeah, on every book as well.
Yeah, I know. Jesus.
I like that. That's where your mind went to with that. My mind went to her and Philip in bed. And she says, "Say my name." And he's puffing and panting, and it's Elizabeth II, by the grace of God of the United Kingdom of Great Britain, Northern Ireland. Just pass out.
Finish halfway through, wouldn't he?
He probably would, wouldn't he? And she's not getting anything out of that.
No.
In that scenario, I feel sorry for both of them. He's got an insurmountable task. And I mean, I'm referring to pronouncing her name during the act of.
Of course.
I would never refer to our queen as an insurmountable task.
Is treason still against the law? Is it still... Would this be considered light treason?
A light dabbing of treason, I think. We really should have put a little warning at the start, a little treason warning. It's sort of like an explicit content warning, but for treason. I don't think either of us... We're not sensible. We're not adult enough to talk about her without offending people, are we?
Probably not.
No.
So this might be the last episode of the...
Yeah, we'll record this bit and put it back at the start. And, if there are no more episodes, then we probably have been beheaded.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt.
Well, there we go. So at least we know her name. She's 91.
Yeah, she's knocking on, isn't she?
It's really old. 91. Average age in the UK is 81. How is she doing it?
I was having a look, a little bit of information about her.
Yeah.
One thing it might be, apparently, has a glass of champagne every night before bed.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah. Is that so bad?
It can't be.
Well, it's keeping her going, isn't it? Yeah. Maybe it's special champagne. It's full of life-preserving chemicals.
It's like a pill cocktail. There's only a drop of champagne in there.
Yeah. They're actually just mashed up pills. Oh, that's not so bad, is it? I mean, there's also the fact that she's a lizard. Don't forget the fact that she's a lizard.
Our lizard queen, of course.
Our lizard queen, yeah. That wasn't actually in the title, was it? Lizard wasn't in there.
No, our gracious lizard queen of the Great British.
Oh, just reading it back, yeah, it does say lizard in there.
Oh, right.
Yeah, it does actually. Yeah. She's looking pretty good for a 91-year-old lizard, I would say.
Yeah, well, she still goes to all the events, Live Aid and...
Live Aid. That's the most recent event you could think of, was Live Aid.
What the kids listening to these days? Bananarama.
Yeah, Bananarama. Well, what do you want to bring to the table? What do you want to say about our queen, our good lady, by the grace of God?
Do you know that she owns all the swans and dolphins that swim in UK water?
I did know that actually. Yeah, there's quite a lot of swans in Exeter actually. They're always getting up to mischief.
Yeah.
I saw one get in the head with an oar.
What?
The rowing team go up and down the quay in Exeter, and they go in chevron, so there were three of them moving in a kind of arrow formation, and they come up really fast on this swan that had peeled away from the rest of the flock. And I went, oh my god, they're going to hit that swan, and it had nowhere to go, and this oar just swang out of the water and whacked it right in the head. It didn't look very pleased.
No, I bet.
Gave a little swanny honk.
Swanny honk.
Yeah, and then
Sounds like a ragtime song.
yeah, that's what I mean. It gave it the old swanny honk. Popped out a little honky tonk piano, and away it went. And of course, the Queen was down there in minutes, with a little with the bandages.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, she was sort of like holding it, cradling it, cooing softly into its ear. She speaks pigeon. It's not swan, but it's closer than human.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was there on hand, first aid kit, making sure the swan was all right, and I think she might have ended up taking it back to Buckingham with her.
Yeah, he's a duke now, isn't he, that swan?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, this was actually how she met Philip. This is a long time ago.
All right.
Yeah, I'll not mention this.
That explains the long, slender neck that he has.
It does, doesn't it? Yeah,
And his honking.
and it's honking.
But no, in regards to this swan thing, this one particular article I was looking at, as early as the 12th century, the British monarchy has laid claim, and this part's in quotation marks, so you know that it's quoting something.
Yeah.
The monarchy laid claim to all mute swans.
Ooh. So you don't really know whether a swan's mute until the exact moment that it starts making a noise.
Yeah, like hitting it in the head with an oar.
Yeah. Maybe the boat was chartered. Maybe it was a royal chartered boat.
Hang on, I think I've got a conspiracy here. Now, all mute swans, right?
Yeah.
Presumably when that swan got hit in the head and it was a bit dazed and confused, it wasn't saying a lot. The Queen was able to lay claim to it because it wasn't talking.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's beaten up swans and then taking them back to her castle.
Lair,
She already sounds like a villain.
She does, doesn't she? She's definitely going in the mailbox rogues
Absolutely.
gallery. Definitely.
Beating up swans?
I mean, the other theory is that I've just cooked up. Maybe the reason the swans have to be mute is because they don't want anybody revealing the fact that she's a lizard. If the swans can talk, if they can get the word out that the Queen's a lizard, then the whole world knows. So mute swans. Should we mention why people think she's a lizard? Or do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, no, I know, yeah.
You know what I'm talking about.
I have heard that, like, these great conspiracy theories, like our world leaders are lizard people.
Yeah, so it started with David Icke, I guess in the 80s or 90s. Used to be a sports commentator on TV. I think he'd had quite a long career, and he's a bit of a celebrity and TV personality and sporting personality. And then out of nowhere, he just one day proclaimed that there was a massive conspiracy and that some world leaders and people in power were secretly lizards and they were controlling the world from behind a mask. And he meant it. He really meant it, and he still does. I think he's still touting his lizard nonsense.
I did see like a video or like a news piece about him, and it was fairly recent, and he was kind of like handing out flyers and talking about it very candidly. Well, I mean, like, no one's proven him wrong yet.
Well, you're right. And again, no smoke without fire.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. But he did single the Queen out as being a lizard. And, as far as I know, maybe she is. I think I've got a secret hunch that she is. Can you do an impression of the Queen?
My husband and I are watching Gremlins 2, the new batch, on the telly box.
It's good. And that's what I think she'd probably say if she was watching Gremlins 2 on the telly box. Yeah, that's probably what she'd say. Did you hear about this book that came out recently that mentioned her?
No.
So there's this lingerie maker, and the woman who wrote it, she was lingerie maker to the Queen.
Oh, God.
I shit you not. And it was a royal chartered company, so it had the royal seal and everything like that. You see it on the side of a cereal box or something.
Yeah.
And they, so the person who used to fit the Queen's bras has written an autobiography and released it. And because of this, because it mentions her dealings with the Queen, it doesn't go into detail or anything. It doesn't tell you how big I was about to say, it doesn't tell you how big the Queen's tits are. I can't talk about the Queen's tits. It doesn't tell you how big the Queen's bust is, or any of those details. Nothing like that. It just mentions some of the interactions with her. So they've lost their royal charter. Guess what the book's called?
Royal Knockers?
No, almost as good as that. It's called Storm in a D Cup. I don't deserve any credit for that. I just think that's really funny. I think fair fucks to whoever came up with that title, because that's brilliant. She's been around for a while,
Yeah.
our Queenie.
Mm.
She's reigned over 14 prime ministers.
Jesus.
Starting with Winston Churchill, taking us back to one of our previous episodes. I mean, there's a bit of a crossover there. This is the first time any of the people we've covered have crossed over. So, when he was prime minister, she would have had to tap him on each shoulder with a sword. Unless, I suppose he's probably prime minister already. Maybe he tapped her with a sword.
Jesus.
Maybe he tapped her with his sword.
I can hear the beefeaters at the door already.
Do you think they'll put me in the tower?
Yeah.
'Cause so far it's just been me, hasn't it? You'll be all right. You're gonna have to carry on doing this on your own. I don't mind you using any of the equipment while I'm
Yeah.
away.
Well, I'll just turn into David Icke when I just like spouting bollocks from your room, just kind of like talking about lizard queens.
Yeah.
Like, they've captured my friend. They've taken him to the Tower of London. I swear. I can't give away my location at this point.
The lizards have got him. The lizards have got him. They'll get you. They'll get you one day. I'm sure of it.
Lizards will get you.
What?
Liz. Oh
Queen
my
Liz.
god. Queen Liz. It was right there in front of us all this time.
I feel like it's the last piece of the Da Vinci Code has just slipped into place. Finally, all the puzzle pieces fit. We've uncovered proof of the Great Conspiracy. Have you got David Icke's phone number? We'll let him know.
Oh, if David Icke wanted to contact us.
He knows how to get in touch, doesn't he?
Yes, he does. mailboxroguesgallery@gmail.com, or get us at Twitter @mailboxrogues.
Is she... This may sound like a stupid question. Is she related to Barbara Windsor?
Yeah, I assume that was public knowledge, wasn't it?
Because she, Barbara Windsor used to run the Queen Vic in EastEnders.
Yeah, that's right.
And that's... So there's connections there.
Yeah, surname Windsor, yeah.
They're probably sisters, aren't they? The Queen and Barbara Windsor.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think so. So what I was going to say is she was famously in with the Cray twins. I reckon the Queen must be too. Probably not now, but used to be.
Yeah.
I think they're probably both dead or something. Or in jail. Like all twins should be. It's just if you ask me.
Yeah, they even dress the same, which is
Weird.
weird.
Yeah.
Same suit.
And she gets 2 birthdays a year.
Yeah, that annoys me.
Yeah, that's pretty.
Doesn't that mean she's like 182?
That's a very good point. I mean, if she is 182, she's looking good.
Yeah,
She's looking good. For a 91-year-old, she looks pretty good for a 91-year-old, doesn't she?
yeah. It's like for a 91-year-old, it's like you look alright, and then 180. Whoa.
Yeah.
What's your secret?
I'll have what she's having.
Champagne every night.
That's champagne every night. Maybe I should start drinking champagne every night. She's a birthday in April and in June. Wouldn't you have them 6 months apart?
Yeah, you wouldn't want them too close together because then like parents couldn't get her any. They might have to save up a bit more for presents.
Yeah.
The second one. Yeah, it must be a ball ache Christmas as well.
Yeah. I mean, and what do you get her? She's got enough hats, hasn't she?
Yeah.
What would you get? Right. So, say you're invited to Buckingham Palace for the Queen's birthday party. Okay. There's a big birthday cake there. Everybody's running around playing pin the tail on the donkey. Some people are playing some video games in the corner. Probably Bono. He's probably there. A little audible groan there. When I said Bono.
Well, let's just say he could be another episode in the future.
Yeah. Well. Yeah, okay. We'll think about that. I mean, you don't have to socialise with Bono. He's just there, But he's quite loud, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's probably running around, rah, 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 making lots of noise.
Subtly putting his album on people's iTunes in their phone.
That was naughty, wasn't it? Yeah. So you're invited to the Queen's birthday party. Everybody's there. What do you get her? What present do you bring to the Queen's birthday party? This is the first one. This is the one in April.
Right. Okay. Well, the rules for this now, can it be literally anything, or is this within my kind of like means, like that I could afford, because it's all very well me saying, "Oh, I'd buy her an island," but I don't
Which
think.
island?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Which island?
Ireland.
Oh, okay. Well, she had that once before, but they weren't too happy about it. Same with Australia. That's another island she used to have. She's still on their money as well, isn't she?
She is.
Okay, within your means.
Bloody hell. Well, I mean, old people they like Werther's.
Yeah.
Werther's originals, the toffees, in case people aren't.
Buttery, very buttery.
Hmm.
Buttery little bastards.
So maybe like a share bag.
Oh, that's nice. And she can hand it around to all of her friends.
Yeah, or she could pick out if she wanted to.
Up to her. It's her special day. She can do whatever she wants.
Exactly, yeah. So maybe I might have a bit more money for something else as well. Might push the boat out.
Yeah? Like what?
Another bag.
Oh, another bag. 2 share bags. Blimey. Well, to be fair, if she's not sharing by the time she gets the second bag, she's a greedy little bastard. She really should share at least one of those bags.
Yeah.
Pick out on the rest, maybe. That's fine. Okay, great. So you have a nice time at the Queen's birthday party. She blows out the candles. She almost falls asleep in the cake, but, you know, she's had too much champagne. You get a little party bag as you go.
Yeah.
As you go out the door, butler hands it to you or your mum, who's come to pick you up, maybe.
Yeah.
It's got some crayons, little miniature colouring in book, gold Rolex watch, bubbles for you to blow on the car journey on the way back home and drive your mum nuts. So a pretty good day and all, I'd imagine.
Yeah, fair trade.
Yeah. Okay, so that's April. May comes around, right? Guess what arrives in the post?
Oh.
It's an invite to her next birthday party in June.
Bloody hell. Right, so I want to be thinking about presents fairly early on.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's May and the party's in June.
I could try with another share bag, but at the same time,
that is a bit of a risky move.
her previous birthday wasn't that long ago, so she'll probably remember. I know she's quite old, but it's like, didn't you get this for me my last birthday? It's like, 2 months ago. Oh yeah.
Not falling for that one. And she's probably got through the first 2 bags.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's probably all gone now. I don't know. So she's eating the share bags. What do old people like?
What don't they like?
They like ornaments.
Yeah.
Although she's probably got quite a few of those.
I mean, she's got the Elgin marbles, hasn't she? Isn't that enough? Forget the marbles. What are you going to get the Queen? I will just say they're pretty good ornaments, the Elgin marbles.
Right. So if I got her like a normal bag and marbles, that wouldn't cut it?
No, probably not. Just a bag of marbles. Was that your idea?
Well, you said she likes them, so I just thought, can never have too many of them.
Shit.
I don't know. Does she have Netflix?
What are you thinking? Her and Philip Netflix and chill?
Yeah, but get her 12 months.
Yeah, that's not bad.
That's not cheap.
No, actually, considering your first gift was 2 bags of Werther's Originals, you've kind of stepped up the price range a little bit there, haven't you? For $7.99 a month or whatever it is. Times that by 12.
Yeah, what's that? 96 quid.
Blimey. And how much did you pay for the Werther's Original? Just remind me.
They were on offer. 2 quid.
2 quid?
Yeah,
for both?
2 share bags, yeah.
Wow, that is a bargain. Where are you getting those?
Poundland.
Wow. That makes sense, actually, because that divides up perfectly, actually, now that I think about it.
I say they were on offer.
Yeah.
They're just always on offer.
Every time you go in Poundland, you go, wow, this is on offer. You're going around from shelf to shelf going, this is on offer too. It's only £1. Here, have you seen this?
Tell you what I do every time I go in there, every week. They love it. I go up to them. I say, hey, how much is this? They love it. They can't get enough of it.
And you do that for what?
Anything. Like the more different, the better. They just love it.
Yeah, I'm sure they do every week. I tell you what, if you like Poundland, you'd love Pound World.
Oh.
It's bigger than a land. It's a world.
Jesus. So yeah, Netflix, probably.
Yeah, well, I think that's very generous of you. And she probably doesn't have it. What would you get her watching?
Well, I'd recommend Stranger Things. Maybe The Crown.
Oh, The Crown. She'd like that, wouldn't she? What's that about? Because she's got a crown, hasn't she?
Yeah, that's what I think. I think she might be able to relate.
Yeah.
I don't know what the program's about, but I mean, title like The Crown is like.
You know, she'd like it.
I've got a crown.
Yeah.
Bloody heavy. I hate it.
Yeah, we heard about that. Yeah. Oh, okay, that's a good one. So she's got I remember reading. She's been through a lot of corgis. She's owned over 30 corgis in her lifetime since she was 18 years old.
Hold on. So since she was 18, she's 91 now. So that's 73 years of corgi ownership.
Yeah,
30 corgis.
that's a lot of corgis.
There's something that she's not doing right, and no one's calling her out on it.
Yeah, I think this is a bit like the Hollywood sex scandal. No, she's in a position of power and nobody will stand up to her. She's mistreating these corgis.
I mean, like, maybe if they overlapped, like she had a few at a time, but I mean, like, yeah, what's she doing to them?
I don't know. Didn't you say that when you went over for a birthday party, they served corgi soup?
Well, I thought that was just kind of like comically named.
Yeah, just the little ears floating around in it.
Yeah, I thought they were like made of quavers and
You
stuff.
thought there were quavers in the soup? Yeah,
Quaver soup.
yeah.
And
I like the way you went for quaver instead of crouton, which is something more traditionally found in soup.
I'm a bit of a pleb, me. I was just working.
James, have you ever eaten soup?
Crouton, quaver. Crunch a bag up, pour it in.
A whole bag of quavers. Do you remember when they used to do prawn cocktail quavers?
No.
All right, let's move on.
And
again, a bit too high class for you.
Yeah.
Different flavours of quavers.
Yeah, I only know yellow flavour.
And boy, are they yellow. Yeah. Whether it's malicious or just an accident, that is a lot of corgis to go through.
It is. It's quite a few.
I like this. There's a little fact I read about the Queen. You could advocate that maybe she's not a rogue because she doesn't have to pay taxes, but she does. That's pretty cool, isn't it?
Since 93, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
What was she getting up to the few decades before? Living the life of Riley.
Living the life of Riley, I know. She blew it all on cocaine, strippers, and bedding for her vivarium. Is that where you keep a lizard? A vivarium?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. She got a lovely heat lamp. We're really not going to get off the subject of lizards, I don't think.
With us till the end.
Yeah, it's permeating this whole episode, I know it.
Oh, if anyone wants to give us some Queen Lizard fan art.
Oh, brilliant, yeah.
Oh, God. I think I might draw something up myself, actually, and put it on the Twitter.
I think maybe you should, yeah.
So kind of related to the the Queen, the national anthem.
Well, it's pretty related in that it's about her.
Yeah.
Can you remind me how it goes? It's a lovely song, wasn't it, by the Sex Pistols?
Yeah, no, that's right. Yeah, God save the Queen.
Yeah. Her fascist regime.
Oh,
She ain't no human being. Oh, because she's a lizard. They knew. That was pre-David Icke as well.
yeah, I know, yeah.
Do you think maybe he just took that song a little bit too literally? Like
Yeah.
we are.
Yeah, it's a bit like Charles Manson when he was listening to Helter Skelter
Yeah.
by the Beatles, and he heard like messages in it telling him to get his kind of family to kill people for him.
Yeah.
Similarly, maybe David Icke was listening to God Save the Queen, and out of that he came to the conclusion that she is a lizard lady.
This is a tenuous conclusion to draw, I would say. Not without merit, though. Not without merit. We have seen there are other pointers, so we won't say this is only inspiration for drawing that conclusion, because there are definitely other pointers. Do you think she had Diana murdered?
I don't know where to go with this.
Well, it's a pretty simple question, Birch. What do you mean you don't know where to go with it? It's a yes or no
I didn't
answer.
realise we were going down this avenue because I had something of a joke earlier in the podcast,
Right.
but I thought, no, I don't want to go there. It's
Well, we're
too near and dear to the nation's hearts.
We don't have to be accusatory, but we'll just mention as another conspiracy about her is that she had Princess Diana murdered because she was apparently having an affair. Personally, I don't think she did it. I think you've made it quite clear that you do think she did it. You've called her a murderer. Hopefully that'll get left in the edit. I won't accidentally chop that bit out. But you were quite clear that you think she did it, weren't you? Yes, I was.
That wasn't my voice.
That was your voice. That's exactly what you sound like.
Let's think about this. Now, did Lady Diana... I can't even say her name. Lady Diana.
Are you getting a bit emotional? Still
too soon, Sean.
Still tearing up. Lady Di.
Yeah. Did she have a problem with lizards?
Oh, she might have been a bit lizard phobic, mightn't she?
Maybe she got too close. Saw the vivarium.
She saw the big rock underneath the heat lamp that the Queen sleeps on. Yeah, maybe.
Thought someone had turned the heating on a bit too much in the room. Knocked on the door. It's like, it's a bit warm in here, and then she's just like there, sat on some eggs.
Yeah, the horrific realization that her husband came out of one of those eggs.
Exactly.
Blimey.
Meaning
yeah.
her children had a bit of lizard in them.
More than a bit of lizard in them. More than a bit of lizard in them. You can see it in their faces even to this day.
If anyone from the royal family would like to confirm or disconfirm that, please let us know.
Yeah, if a statement wants to be released to address that, perfectly happy to give it the airtime. Perfectly. If the Queen wants to come on and say her piece, I'm perfectly happy to have her around.
Yeah.
Might even give her a bag of Werther's Originals. I heard she likes them.
Share bag.
Yeah.
She was a mechanic during the Second World War.
Is that right? A mechanic?
Yeah.
Oh.
Like, genuinely.
You're looking at me very earnestly as if you're not talking complete bullshit.
No, she was. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. What did she mechanise?
Well, it was during the Second World War. A lot of people...
Things were different back then,
yeah.
weren't they? Things were different.
Yeah. I mean, some people think that she was helping the war effort, but she was actually working like in a second-hand car garage forecourt.
I thought you were going to say she was working for the Germans. Well, I mean, she was before she was a Windsor. She was a Hanover.
Yeah, well, she was working at a German car forecourt.
She was working as a German MOT
That's
mechanic.
Right.
She's a fascinating woman.
Yeah, and she'd, as you'd get back in the day, like a woman would walk past, she'd go, "Wait, I could give you a service."
So she'd say that to you.
Yeah, nudge all the other mechanics, and they'll start wolf whistling.
Oh, she's a regular grease monkey as well,
yeah.
Queen. I've always called her that. There's just one word I used to describe our Queen. Is a grease monkey.
Yeah, behind the bonnet, that's where she was happiest.
I think even to this day, you sometimes see there's just a little bit of grease or oil, engine oil, down the side of her face or on her dress or something like that.
Yeah, she's got to keep up appearances these days, much like the TV show Keeping Up Appearances.
Oh, is that what that was about? Yeah.
Yeah. So she'll go downstairs and walk outside, look at the car, see someone working on it. She'll walk over, is like, "Do you need a hand with that at all?" And he's like, "Oh no, you're all right, Your Majesty. I'll work on this." Are you sure? Yeah, I'm sure. I'm fine with it, thanks. Oh, all right then. And then she'll just like tear up.
Oh, it's sad.
Just thinking back to those heydays, like during Nazi Germany, where she was mending cars.
Hitler's personal mechanic as well. Actually, now that I remember it.
That's right. She was. Yeah.
Well, it's a wonder her and Churchill got on at all.
Yeah,
he probably had a few things to say to her after he had a brandy or two.
Yeah, when it first came about, she was like, you know, oh, it's a small world. You know Hitler. My God, I fixed his cars.
I used to work for him. Yeah. You know all those assassination attempts you ordered? I put in the bulletproof glass to stop them. Oh, this is a funny old world, isn't it?
Yeah.
Some people, when they picture the Queen, they probably sort of picture her sat by the bank of the Thames for some sort of jubilee. You know, there's a parade of boats going past. I picture her on one of those little boards with wheels on that slides out underneath the car. She just sort of pokes her head out, winks at me, and then slides back under. That's what goes through my head when I think of the Queen. God, wouldn't it be really bad if, because we're recording this a little bit ahead of when we put it out, wouldn't it be really bad if she dies between now and when we go to put this out?
Not at all. It'd be timely.
Well, that's true.
Get a few more subscribers.
A fitting tribute, yeah. I suppose a lot of people will be Googling her at the time, so yeah, maybe it will bump up some figures.
Yeah, that's what this is all about. Exploiting our monarchs.
Yeah, that's it. Well, she's done all right out of this. I mean, I know she pays taxes and all, but she's still doing all right, isn't she?
Mm.
But plus, she's got her pension as a mechanic to fall back on.
Exactly, yeah, that's not a bad wage.
Yeah, I mean, mechanics get paid pretty good. You know, it's hard work and it's complicated. So, you know, they get paid well and they deserve it.
Absolutely. Yeah, I imagine it'd be even better wage, like working under like a fascist dictator.
Yeah, a personal mechanic to Adolf Hitler. She would have been rolling in the Deutschmarks.
Yeah.
Think of the heat lamp she could have got with all that.
Buckets of flies.
Buckets of flies, yeah. curled up on a big German bratwurst, still in her boiler suit. Coming from. just picture the scene.
It's a beautiful image.
She comes home from work. She's still got the greasy boiler suit on. She says, "Oh, Philip, are you still watching My Sister on EastEnders?" You know, he's just sat in front of the TV. He goes, "Yes, yes, Your Majesty." Oh, sometimes he calls out that really long name, like I said at the start. And she saunters past him, still in the greasy boiler suit, and just curls up on a big sausage and eats loads of flies. She still wears the crown when she's servicing cars as well, by the way.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, it gets filthy dirty.
Yeah, oh God, that's a job keeping it clean, isn't it? Yeah. How many yachts do you think she's got?
I'd say probably about 23.
I was going to say 400.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you might be right.
We'll never know.
They're a funny thing. They're very expensive. That'd be the last thing, even if I had the money, last thing I'd spend my money on, a yacht.
You wouldn't buy a yacht?
No, I don't think so.
I'd buy a yacht. I mean, it wouldn't be high up the list, but it'd be on there. It wouldn't be the last thing I'd buy because, you know, everybody likes being out on the water. Get a little man to sail you about. It doesn't have to be little. It doesn't have to be a man. Get the Queen to do it.
Now, if it was a little man, I'd maybe be more enticed to to having a yacht.
Right.
If all my crew were dwarves.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, you're winning me over.
Oh well, it wasn't exactly where I was going with that, but yeah, if it gets you on board with yachts, see what I did there?
Yeah, I do see that. Yeah.
What would be the first thing you'd buy if you had the Queen's wealth? Say she dies, right? We put this podcast out, numbers go through the roof because people are searching her name all the time. They're not getting enough Queen's died news off the news and the newspapers, so they turn to the internet. It turns out that you are direct line to her fortune.
Jeez.
All the others are discovered to be lizards, and technically there's no provision under inheritance laws as to whether lizards can inherit money. So all the money goes to you. What is the first thing you buy?
First thing I'd buy.
You also inherit the Werther's original, so don't worry about that. You've
Okay.
got those.
All right. Okay.
I really top of the list.
I really need to think now. And I got Netflix for a year.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
I do.
as long as she tells you your password before she croaks.
Maybe not so much what I would buy, but
Who you'd have murdered.
well, that too. There's
Yeah.
that aspect to it. I'm a monarch, so it would be my first thing I'd do. I'd probably go on a holiday.
Anyone nice?
Um,
Bognor?
Yeah, Bognor, I think. Yeah, just get away from it all.
Yeah. Yeah. You can really find peace there.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah, after a couple of weeks, come back.
A couple of weeks in Bognor. That's
Oh,
quite
yeah.
a stretch.
Yeah, I want to be nice and relaxed.
I suppose if it cures what ails you.
Yeah. Maybe firstly, because it is annoying, I appreciate it as someone who buys presents, so I would get rid of the 2 birthdays.
Really?
Yeah,
You consolidate it into one super birthday.
Yeah, well, if people want to do that, that's up to them. But I'm not going to be cynical and say you have to buy me 2 birthday presents, like Liz does. So, yeah, that'd be the first thing. I'd make sure I only have 1 birthday.
And
I think I'd win the public over with that.
Yeah. What about that national anthem? You'd have to get that changed. It'd be a bit insulting, wouldn't it, if they were still singing God Save the Queen at you?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, particularly as I hope it won't continue as a fascist regime. I will change the national anthem to the theme song to Knight Rider.
I've never heard the theme song to Knight Rider, but I'll hear it a lot when it's the national anthem.
Oh yeah, of course.
I
Yeah.
imagine. Yeah.
Okay. I'll to help you, I'll change it. I'll change it to the theme song. It's a recurring theme. It's the theme song.
Oh yeah, another theme song. Yeah.
Parkinson.
This comes up a lot, doesn't it? The Michael Parkinson theme tune.
Twice. I mean, just imagine that, like sporting events. And now rise for the national anthem. Everyone in the stands would be dancing.
Dancing, clapping.
They'd be loving it.
Yeah, I suppose it would.
Doing.
It'd be good when all the athletes, sportsmen come out.
I would ban bad behaviour.
Wow, I think that's a bit draconian. That's a little bit harsh, but I think it's about bloody time. Bad behaviour has gone on for too long. Thousands of years. Somebody should have put a stop to it a long time ago.
Have massive flyers all up and down the country that just say none of that.
Can I just make a point? And I know, you've obviously know what you're doing.
Well, I'm open to criticism, Sean, so by all means.
I'll just say that once a flyer gets to a certain size, it becomes a poster, and then once it gets bigger than that, even it becomes like a billboard. So I don't know this whole massive flyer thing is going to work because a massive flyer is still smaller than an A4 piece of paper.
Don't know what you're talking about.
Well, just take it on. Just take it on board if you can. Just see what mull it over.
Okay. Well,
Let me send you to a nice print shop, and they'll set you straight.
okay. Well, all right. Well, let's say that I die as monarch, and then for some strange coincidence, you then end up monarch. Tell me, Sean, what would you do?
What would I do? Well, first of all, I'd probably have your name stripped from the history books. I hope you don't mind, but I just want a fresh start, clean slate. How long are you going to be in power for before you die?
An hour.
Wow, you get a lot done in an
Yeah,
hour.
yeah.
With
I was like,
the
right.
national anthem and the flyers.
Yeah, it was like one birthday, national anthem. We've got the Parkinson theme song. Everyone loves it. Flyers up and down the country, and then I just
It's too much.
Yeah,
1 hour.
And then everyone's like, well, who's going to live up to that?
Well, obviously that's where I step in. Yeah,
you got
as your
big boots to fill.
As your podcast co-host. Yeah, so like I say, strip your name from the history books. In a kind of Stalin-esque move, I'll have you erased from history, Photoshop you out of all of the family photos that are sitting on your parents' mantelpiece. That sort of thing. I'm sure they won't notice.
No, probably not.
I'd probably set up a mechanic academy because I just want to carry that torch for Liz the Lizard.
That's nice.
Because I suppose it's only been 2 hours since she died.
Thinking about they probably don't know whether they're coming or going, the general public. Hang on. What? Oh, we got a king. He's dead.
What a day. What a day. God. You wouldn't know whether you're coming or going, would you? And the poor Treasury trying to keep reprinting notes. They're trying to get all the old notes back in out of circulation and then put new faces on them just for you to die and then my face on it.
Yeah,
and they're trawling through my Facebook trying to find an appropriate photo to put on the banknotes.
Thousands and thousands of stamps and commemorative plates and everything. Plates. Just with me looking like dead on with a thumbs up.
Well, we can have one at the start of the hour to commemorate your coronation and one at the end of the hour to commemorate your death. Maybe one of you just sort of keeled over, clutching your heart. Yeah. Yeah, so I don't know. A mechanic academy seems quite fitting.
Yeah.
I'd probably release all the swans.
Oh.
And probably retrofit them some vocal cords so that they're no longer mute.
Yeah, I guess.
And then we'll hear what they've got to say.
They're not going to have nice things to say about the Queen.
About certain people, yeah. Well, they'll let us know whether she murdered Diana.
They'll
know.
And would this be, I imagine it being like, I'm dead at this point, but I imagine it being like a nice, like massive ceremony where like a massive cage is opened and like 10,000 swans just fly out.
Yeah.
Just kind of like honking for the first time in God knows how long.
Yeah, I think so, yeah. They'll be jubilant. They'll be so happy to be able to honk. I mean, obviously geese famously honk, not swans. So maybe we'll take some geese larynxes, give them to the swans, and that solves that. What I'd probably do as well is I'd probably tie your corpse. I'd probably tie your corpse to some of them, and then they can just sort of fly. I think this would be a good send-off for you. They fly off with your corpse into the sunset, and you're just sort of like dangling from them as they fly. Did you think that sounds nice?
I didn't know you'd read my will.
Me and your lawyer are very good friends.
I see.
Yeah, he buys from the same Chinese as me.
All right, yeah.
So yeah, I think a nice little ceremony, and that's 2 birds with 1 stone, actually.
Well,
almost
10,000 birds with one
larynx
man tied to their feet.
Yeah, yeah. So we've got the swans have regained the ability to speak. You're out of the picture, but in a very sort of touching, moving ceremony.
That's a point. Now, are you going to erase me from history? Because surely at this point they're just going to see who's that twat who's been tied to a load of swans.
I don't recognise it. Maybe I'll float you off and then erase you from history because I want Elton to do "Candle in the Wind."
Goodbye, 1,000 swans. You got your voices back. You didn't, because you got hit in the head with an oar.
You don't think Elton will mention you at all?
Who's that twat they're carrying?
Maybe we'll get and we could get David Furnish to do the choreography. That'd be great. He did Lion King, didn't he? Get him to do some swans. Brilliant. And to be honest, I think at that point it's going to have been a long day, so I'll probably just watch a few episodes of The Crown, just go to sleep. So day 2 of my reign. First of all, do you think I'll last as long as the Queen? She was 26 and she's 91 now, and I think we've established she'll probably die sometime this year. Oh God, this is going to happen now, isn't it? Oh, I've said that. We'll never be able to put this out.
Heard it here first, folks.
Godspeed, Queen. Not Godspeed.
Godspeed you, Black Emperor.
That's not what I meant. I meant to say, God willing, she makes it to 93. Yeah? She'll be 92 this year. I wanted to make it to 2019. Godspeed. So, when I think day 2 of my reign, going back to the national anthem, unsurprisingly, I'm actually going to go with a theme tune as well. Crystal Maze. Going to go for the Crystal Maze.
How does that go?
Well, I won't do it justice. Maybe I could make Richard O'Brien Prime Minister. You know, the bald-headed chap who did Crystal Maze in the 90s.
Yeah, just sits in Parliament with a harmonica.
Talking about
order! Order!
Talking about Mumsy. Yeah, I can see that all working out very well.
What about laws, specifically?
You're right, there's too many of them. We'll probably repeal most of them.
Oh, yeah.
Just sort of go down a bit of a libertarian route. I think people are pretty mature and sensible enough to look after themselves and those around them without the nanny state interfering. Yeah. I'd probably put an end to the brutal supply and slaughter of corgis going in and out of Buckingham Palace. I think I'd have to put a stop to that.
What I will say, though, is you will put a lot of corgi slaughterers out of a job.
I'll find them new jobs, mate. I'll be building roads everywhere.
Okay.
Think of a place.
Scunthorpe.
Think of another place.
Slough.
I'm going to build a road between Scunthorpe and Slough. A straight road. It'd be a Roman road. Because Scunthorpians, as I'm assuming they're called, have suffered trying to get to Slough. They've suffered year on year. I'm going to put an end to that. Think of another place.
Polperro.
Okay. Think of another place.
Cardiff.
It's going to be a bit difficult to build a road between those two because one's in Cornwall, one's in Wales. But I'll do it.
Yeah, big bridge.
Or a tunnel. We'll see. We'll work that out later. I've got a whole academy of mechanics who can help me with the logistics.
Oh, yeah, I see what...
It all ties in, see? It all ties in. So don't think that wasn't going anywhere.
No.
I think pork pies are pretty gross. I'll probably get rid of them.
Oh, at this point, I'm glad I died.
All that weird jelly stuff.
Oh,
Oh.
Not my Britain.
Well,
Send me off with the bloody swans.
I can see you salivating. Look, you've left a big puddle of drool on the table in front of you. You really like pork pies?
Yeah, great.
You can have them.
Just all these people flinging pork pies at my body while I'm being flown away by swans.
If we can't give it to you in life, we'll give it to you in death.
It's what he would have wanted.
All the pork pies. All of them. Yeah, well, do you know what? Now that I think about it, it's probably going to lead to some increased criminality. You get some sort of black market pork pie deals going on.
Particularly in the north, where that is a way of life, the pork pie.
Pros and cons.
Absolutely, yeah. That's why I died within the first hour of being a monarch.
Couldn't take it.
No, went mad with power.
Yeah.
National anthem, Parkinson thing, do this, do that.
Yeah.
Die.
So what death do you think would be most befitting me as the king of this nation then?
Well, being carried away by 10,000 swans has already been chosen. As memorable deaths go, I don't think you can top that quite so much, but we'll try.
I'd also like, if possible, memorable and ironic.
An ironic death. Well, I mean, if you're going to go ahead with banning pork pies, maybe a pork pie theme, like you're cooked in a pork pie.
Or crushed by a giant pork pie. They're breaking some sort of world record for the world's biggest pork pie. They've got it on a truck at the top of a steep hill. The cables snap. It starts rolling down the hill on its side. I just happen to be at the bottom opening up a new academy for mechanics. And it rolls straight through me, crushes me to death.
And this is like planned. You've got like the best pie makers in the country because you kind of like feel the end coming.
Mm.
So like, okay, get the pie makers involved. Like make a massive pie. The crust on the thing is like the wall of a house.
Yeah, yeah, they are. I'd probably, and do you know what? You'd think it'd be the impact that would kill me. It was actually drowning in jelly that would do it. It'd be drowning in the jelly that would kill me.
It was actually the cholesterol that killed you.
Well, I mean, it's happening to a lot of people in the north anyway. Yeah, I'd say that'd be pretty ironic death as far as they go.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm happy with that. Yeah. And then it's someone else's turn. And then they go on the banknotes and they do the national anthem. Yeah.
I just realised like the UK just become like the monarchy just becomes basically like some kind of game show.
Yeah.
It's like which monarch can have the wackiest death?
What would be an ironic way for just backpedaling? What would be an ironic way for our queen to die? QE2.
Ironic way for her to die. Well, let's have a look. Well, she loves corgis.
Eaten by corgis.
Mm.
Do you think?
Yeah, they turn on her. No, she's gone through 30 corgis, right? Zombie corgis
Oh.
come to her in the night. Like, she wakes up cold. It's like, who turned off the light? Like, the big
heat
light, the heat lamp.
He turned off the heat lamp, yeah.
And then all of a sudden, you just got these kind of like corgis, these zombie corgis, on their kind of like back hind legs with their paws stretched out in front, like, ruff, ruff, ruff.
Oh, this is pretty scary.
Yeah, I know.
I just had a chill go down my spine.
And yeah, they eat her.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty ironic. Yeah. Okay, it's a good way to go. I could also see at one point the crown just getting too much for her, just crushing her, crushed beneath the weight of her own crown.
Yeah, because it would be quite metaphorical of the kind of
The pressures.
the pressures of being a monarch. That's right.
Yeah.
So the crown is literally too heavy for her, and she becomes about a foot tall.
Oh, I'd love. Do you know what? I quite like her, but I'd like her even more if she was a foot tall. I think the shorter she would get, the more affection I would have for her. I don't know why. I can't explain that.
A foot tall queen. Yeah, yeah, I'd like that. You could pat her on the head.
Ooh, I don't know about if she'd like that. That might be a treasonable offence.
That's probably why she wears the crown. Stop people doing that.
Yeah, it's pointy as well, a bit
Yeah,
sharp.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Stop that.
Ooh. Should we wrap it up then on the Queen?
Kind of, yeah.
All right. Well, I think we've again said all that can be said on our chosen subject this week, being QE2, Queen Elizabeth II, aka Lizard Queen. I think that's it. I think we've done it.
Very interesting figure.
All right. Anything else you want to say? Well, what I will say is, again, Elizabeth, if you are listening, we would love to hear from you. If any of the lizards are listening, get in touch. Any
lizards who want to contact us, they can reach us Mailbox Rogues Gallery, all one word, at gmail.com. You can also reach us at our Twitter. I don't know if lizards tweet or not, but if you do, that's at Mailbox Rogues. You can also check out the podcast on YouTube and Podbean, Mailbox Rogues Gallery.
Presumably non-lizards can access there as well. You don't have some sort of filter set up where only lizards can message us and get in touch and access our content.
I'll try to fiddle with it by the time the podcast comes out, just so non-lizards.
If you could disable the non-lizard firewall that we put up.
I thought we were going for a lizard kind of niche with our audience.
I know. I just feel it's a little bit speciesist to only try and appeal to lizards.
Yeah, that's true.
Should we sign off?
Yes, I think we should. I've had quite enough of this.
All right then. Goodbye, everybody. I've been Sean.
I've been James.
Toodles.
Da 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 da.